Listen up. I made a lot of money mistakes whenever I was younger. I still meet people every single day that say when I was younger, I wish I would have known this, or I wish someone would have told me that. And if you are anything like I was when I was younger, I'm like, I wish I was only listening when people were trying to tell me about my personal finances. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking to the 18-year-old version of myself and also young adults as well on things I wish I would have known whenever I was younger. And that way, hopefully you don't make the same mistakes as I did. This video today was inspired by Camille Collazo, and I'm going to leave her link in the description box below. After you watch this video, make sure you head on over to her channel and get her take on this subject and tell her I sent you. So join me today in this short list that I put together on some of the things that I wish I would have known when I was 18 years old and going into my young adult years. And the first thing that I wish I would have known is there is more than one way to make money. When I was 18 years old, I only had one source of income, and that was playing the piano. Not that I regret playing the piano because I love it even until this day, but just know there is more than one way out there that you can make money, especially in the 21st century when you have everything you need at your fingertips. You can register for a website like Fiverr, find a gift that you're good at and capitalize off of that gift. So at Fiverr, if you're good at graphic design, doing logos, translation, anything that you can monetize, go on and do that while you are young now, before the family comes, before the jobs come, and before life just slow you down just a little bit. So that's one thing I wish I would have known when I was younger, is to not just make money in one area, but diversify my income streams. Another thing that I would tell my 18-year-old self is to avoid debt at all costs. Yeah, you have your people out there that says there's good debt and bad debt. But look here, I never met anyone who got mad or sad when they paid off their mortgage. I never met anyone who got mad or sad whenever they paid off all of their credit cards. Imagine with me this, that every dollar that comes in is yours to keep. When you have debt, when every dollar come in, it's going back out with someone else's name on it. So I would tell my younger self, and I would tell the young adults and people out there listening today, is avoid debt if you can. I know whenever you're buying a home or buying land, that is a greater amount. So there are some instances where you would take out debt, but don't classify that as good debt. I have a mortgage, but I promise you every month whenever I'm putting money toward the principal on my mortgage, I'm excited about that. Because I get so excited that one day that I'm not going to have that mortgage anymore, and about $2,000 will still be in my pocket and not going back out to the banks. It's not something that I didn't know about. That's one of those I wish I was listening moments. When I got married, my grandma gave me a newspaper article. That was her wedding gift, a clip from the newspaper. And it was an article talking about the downsides of being in debt, especially when you're married. So that was one of those things like I wish I was listening, because now I look back in retrospect and nothing has ever come good of the debt that I carried. Another thing that I would tell my young adult self is don't buy that car. Cars lose so much value in the first few years, especially right after you drive it off the lot. It's okay to buy a new car. If you have the cash for it, do that. However, if you must take out a loan for the car because it's a different type of circumstance or situation, don't go out and buy the newest thing out there because it's going to lose so much value. Every time that I buy a car, it's always a few years old, because the thing is, it's still covered under warranty, it's still working well, and I got it for a fraction of the cost of what it originally cost. You can get a $30,000 car for like $18,000, $19,000 just 1 and 2 years later. So if you want to save money and not have that money going back out to other people, don't buy that car. It's okay. Long as that car get you from point A to point B, you shouldn't have anything to worry about. Because why should you try to get the newest and best thing out there to impress people that you really don't know, and half of them you really don't like and will never meet again, but you're still stuck out there paying $400 or $500 every single month just for you to ride around, when you can have that same car for like $200 or $300, and even better whenever you save and pay for cash. Another word of advice that I could offer you is to open up a savings account and set up automatic savings. Because the thing is, there will be a time that you need money, and you don't want to resort to a credit card all the time, because that credit card, it has like killer interest on it. You're going to spend $100, you're going to end up paying $22 just for borrowing that $100. Why not borrow the money from yourself when you need it the most? It's not pizza money. It's not going out to hanging out with your friends money. It's not drinking money, or it's not shopping money. That's whenever you have a real emergency, like a blown tire, then you can go into that savings account and have the money there, and you're not really freaking out, because that emergency is no longer an emergency when you have the money in savings. It becomes just merely an inconvenience. And it's so important for you to set up a budget. A budget is not telling yourself that you can't spend. A budget is pretty much telling your money where to go. It's your plan for spending. Other people call it a spending plan. I was watching a video the other day, and I'm a big fan of Hamilton as well. I was watching this video, and they were talking about George Washington commanding the Continental Army. And George Washington and the Continental Army stood up to the greatest army in the world at that time, and that was the British Army. George Washington had to have a plan in order to defeat and beat the British Army. Think about it like this. If George Washington said, I don't have a plan how we're going to fight them and beat them, we're just going to hope and pray and fly by the seat of our pants, George Washington's army would have probably lost, and the United States of America would not be here today. George Washington had to have a plan, the same way that you need a plan with your finances. If you want to succeed, if you want to start winning with money, you have to tell your money where to go, because if you don't tell your money where to go, your money will tell you what to do and where to go. Then at the end of the day, you won't have any. And speaking of living on a plan and a budget, another thing that you should not do whenever you're young is to go out on outlandish dates. Don't go on those expensive dates. The thing is, you only spend what you have. I used to have like $50 in the bank, but then I would decide to go out, take someone out and spend $50. And sometime I would spend my $50, then I would have a credit card here to try to pay for the entire bill that was probably 3 or 4 times over what I had in the bank. A word of advice is just spend what you have and don't overspend just to impress people. Because honestly, a lot of those people, I never heard from them again. I would spend everything that I have, but at the end of the day, I had bill collectors calling me. I was stressed out at how I was going to pay bills. I was stressed out at how I was going to put money in the tank. And all of that could have been avoided is by coming up with that budget and also not spending so much money on dates. So when I was younger, my mom tried to teach us about investing. And that's another topic that I wish I was listening. If I was speaking to my 18-year-old self right now, I would say it's okay to invest. Invest in fractional shares. You have companies out there like ROBINHOOD, which I have a referral link in the description box below, where you can get a free stock by just signing up and linking your account. Hold on. Linking your account just pretty much is how you get the money into ROBINHOOD. They will never reach into your account and take money out. You are doing all of the transferring. However, fractional shares, that if you don't have the $600, $700, $800 to buy a share in a company, you can just say drop $10, $15, $20, however much you want onto that company, and you can still see a return in your investment. And also with Robinhood, there's no fees associated with you trading and selling. So why not? Drop $20 in there and just see how it works. And I do have a disclaimer down below. I'm not giving you investing advice. I'm just telling you what I know. And another thing that I'm telling my 18-year-old self right now, don't defer your student loans. Yeah, at the time that you're not paying those payments and it seemed like everything is on the good and good. However, whenever the payments become due, that interest has been accumulating. And now you're going to be paying so much more money in interest because you were not attacking that principal when you should have been. So if you're deferring your student loans right now, start making payments on that, because it's only going to hurt you in the end and cost you so much more money. And make sure that you're not letting social media affect your spending. Social media is one of those things that you feel that you are not a part, not unless if you're doing what other people are doing. And a lot of times there are so many people out there that end up broke or out of money because they're trying to live that lavish lifestyle that they cannot afford because they saw someone else on, just say, Facebook or Instagram living that lifestyle, and they don't want to look bad. So then they start taking out more debt, outspending their income just to try to portray that they have this certain type of life. It is almost like financial suicide whenever you're trying to keep up with the Joneses, because a lot of times you have to realize is that the Joneses are broke. The people that you're trying to keep up with are only trying to keep up with someone else, and that person is only trying to keep up with someone else. That's why 8 out of 10 houses on the block that you live on are having financial issues and financial struggles right now, because they're trying to keep up with somebody else. They're trying to be something that they are not, and they're not trying to live within their means. So my advice is stop trying to live like other people and be true to yourself and live the life and the budget and the income that you deserve. And one of the main things that you can do as a young adult is to ask people that you trust for advice. Find those people that you want to be like and emulate success. The reason that I started paying off debt, it wasn't because I was looking around and say, okay, I want to pay off debt. It's because I saw a guy, and this guy was driving nice. He was living nice. Whenever I say driving nice and living nice, it wasn't that he was living large. This guy was a giver. And every time that his kids had something going on at school, he was there. Anytime somebody in the community needed something, he was there. So one day I went to this guy and asked him, what are you doing and how can I get in that position? And that's when he told me about not taking out debt. And if I have debt, pay it off. That's when he told me about giving and the significance of giving and adding value into other people's life. If I want to get marriage advice, I'm not going to go to the guy that's been married 3 or 4 times and divorced as well and think that he's going to give me good advice on how to sustain my marriage. I want to go to that person that's been married for 67, 68 years and they still walk holding hands. They still call each other baby and they still have a glow and a twinkle in their eye. If I was trying to lose weight and I went to the gym and my trainer came out, he was 400 pounds chewing on cake, I know I would need a new trainer. But if I went to the gym and this guy came out and he was buff and fit and built with a 6-pack, making his chest jump, however they do that, that's the person I would listen to, because I would believe that one day I would have those same characteristics. So as a young adult, as an 18-year-old or whoever you are, even if you're looking at this and you're seasoned, but you still need to get in a good financial place, emulate success. Emulate what you see other people doing that you want to be like. Who you hang around with will determine what type of person you will become. Emulate and hang out with those people and learn from those people. Read about those people. Educate yourself and you will go far. Well, that's the best advice that I could give to my younger self right now. Again, check out Camille's channel. Her link is down below. Tell her that Jai sent you. And if you're looking for ways that you can save, make money, and all things related to your finances, click the video right over there, and I will see you in the next video.